Hi guys, welcome back to Synth Secrets. Today we're going to be making drum and bass lead sounds from scratch, and we're going to use this MIDI pattern in Hive and make it sound like this. Let's get to it. We've set our tempo to 174. It's a very standard BPM for drum and bass, but mess around with the BPM to see where you find it more comfortable. You don't have to follow it exactly as we're doing. Pay special attention, however, to the MIDI notes. You'll see that they're overlapping. This A sharp here is overlapping that C, and every note is overlapping, except for a few, because it's a really important part of our sound. So if we hit in it on the Hive, it sounds like this. But you can make the change very quickly. Head to your voice mode. Instead of poly, choose legato. And then scroll down to keys. It may be on matrix A, so click on keys if it is, and increase the amount. You can immediately hear the bend that we're looking for. Of course, you can go further with it. I think around there sounds good to us. Now let's head to Oscillator 1. All we're going to do is we're going to pan this one to the left, because we're going to immediately introduce Oscillator 2 by clicking Oscillator 2 in the filter. Now you can choose a different waveform. You've got all the options here, but we want pulse for this. And let's pan this one to the right. So make sure you've got speakers or headphones so you can get a good idea of what we're doing. I think we'll leave the volume for now, but let's bring the semitones down. Make sure that's -3. Yeah. If you wanted to go up the octave and you've gone down -3, then it would be 9, which is a little bit Mario Kart or 90s Nintendo for our taste. Let's bring that down. And let's also bring the volume down. Now you can hear it. It's there and it's subtle, but it's doing the right thing. Now those two oscillators are sounding good together for the time being. On the synth engine, let's click dirty. We're not entirely sure what that does, but to our ears, it just has that good effect that we're looking for, especially for this type of raw, rugged lead sound. Now let's add in the distortion. Add plenty of distortion. And let's change that from soft clip to hard clip. Let's bring the output down a bit. And let's add in some compression to make sure that the sound is level throughout every note. Quite a lot of amount. Probably a bit of release. Maybe a bit too much. Let's bring that again. Halfway is good for the attack. Now we have a sound that's in your face, and it's going to, once it's in with the rest of the mix, in fact we could hear that now, get a better idea. Okay, now let's work on, we'll leave the drum and bass going in the background. Let's bring the filter down. Hit resonance. But with this filter, we actually want to run it in series. So bring the volume all the way down and we'll lose our sound. But if you put filter 1 on here, it means this oscillator is running in series now through filter 2 of Oscillator 2. Let's change the filter to high pass. And firstly, we want to dial in a lot of modulation envelope. You won't see anything happen until you pull the cutoff way down. Now you'll see the modulation envelope is referencing the cutoff. If you dial it all the way up on the attack, you see it stops. If you bring it down, you can hear it working. You kind of want to get that sweet spot where it's just cutting in at the end of each note. Maybe a bit of resonance. And let's bring the release down. on the amp 1, the release down here as well. Let's shape it a bit more, decay down, sustain down. We've lost a bit, so let's bring in the attack. That's sounding good, sounding gnarly. Bring the volume down. That's more or less how we want the sound to be. Now from here, definitely going to add in some EQ. Quite a lot of mid, lots of high. Reduce the bass a little bit. Reverb. Lots of tone. Don't really need to do that sound. That reverb sounds good as it is. Maybe a tad more on the output. So here's the sound. The next thing we want to do is we want to take all of our musical sounds, so anything but the drums. We want to group them together and we want to filter them at the same time for the drop. So highlight them, and you can Apple G or just right click and set group. Now we want to add in an auto filter onto the track. So for example, with the filter fully down, lots of things you can do there. What we're going to do is we're going to program in a filter sweep. We're going to program it in, but you could just use a MIDI controller to do this. And something like that should sound interesting. Okay, and next is we don't want the filter on throughout for the bars running up to it. So let's right click here and show automation, and let's bring it off so it only comes on here. Let it run to give you some context. Watch it turn on here. Something like that. Of course, there's loads of things you could do with filter sweeps, but it's just another way of showing you how to take the sounds that we just made quite easily, quite quickly, and then grouping them with some other sounds, you can quickly make a drop, make a intro, make a breakdown without too much fuss and not having to rely too much on samples or loops. And what we really like about using synths from the ground up is from here, you've got so much control over your sound once you understand how it all moves and works together and the architecture of a synth. From here, you could do all sorts of things. You could click on the phaser and you could automate, you could configure that. For example, you could add an LFO. Oh, sorry, I can't type. You can add an LFO and you could map that to the wet there. Where did that go? Here. And then actually, let's go to 100%. Let's get it a bit more musical. Let's get it. Hear that? You could even add in a bit of delay. Let's bring the mix down though. Bring the feedback right down. Ping pong. Or pong ping. No, ping pong's actually the one we want. Guys, if you like the Synth Secrets, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to Attack for more. And if there's any tracks, sounds, anything you'd like for us to recreate or show you how to make, just drop a comment below and we'll do our best. Thanks for watching and see you next time.